Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a really difficult subject, something truly somber. It's news that has sent, well, shockwaves through the football world and honestly much wider than that. We're going to delve into the unimaginable tragedy of the sudden passing of Diogo Jota, the brilliant Liverpool and Portugal star forward, and also his younger brother, Andre Silva.
Yeah, and our goal here, our mission for this deep dive, it's not just about, listing the facts of what happened. We really want to try and understand the profound sense of loss that everyone seems to be feeling globally, and also to celebrate the lives they led, because they were impactful lives, even though cut short, and maybe explore the wider effects of this tragedy. We've looked through all the information available to sort of pull out the key insights for you.
And it hits home immediately, doesn't it? The personal context here just makes the loss feel even more poignant. Diogo Jota had just gotten married just 11 days ago to Ruth Cardoso. We saw the pictures, the celebrations. They have 3 young children. They were building a life. So this isn't just, a loss for football fans. It's this massive, devastating hole ripped into a young family's life. Right at the beginning, it's hard to really process the shock. The news came out early this morning. Diogo Jota, only 28 years old, and his brother Andre Silva, just 26. They died in a terrible car crash over in Zamora, Spain. The suddenness of it all and how young they both were, it's truly hard to grasp. 1 minute, vibrant lives, so much ahead of them. The next, just gone. It leaves this huge emptiness.
And what's really striking, I think, and maybe offers a kind of insight into modern life and fandom, is how open players like Diogo Jota often are with their personal lives now, through social media, media coverage generally. His wedding wasn't just some private thing. It felt like it was celebrated by fans all over the world. People felt connected to his happiness, his journey, and that openness, while it's great in many ways, it does create a much deeper, more sort of intimate feeling of loss. When something awful like this happens, it kind of blurs the line between the player on the pitch and the person you feel you know. So the sadness isn't just in the stadium or the club, it reaches right into people's homes, those who followed him. It's a very strange kind of collective grief.
That's a really good point. Yeah, the void isn't just confined to, say, Anfield or the Portugal setup. It really does stretch into the hearts of everyone who knew them, obviously, but also those who just admired them from afar through the game. It's a harsh reminder of how connected we can feel even to public figures, and how far grief can travel when someone with so much life ahead is taken so suddenly. But amidst all this sadness, it feels important, necessary even, to take a moment and reflect on the life Diogo Jota did lead, on the incredible career he managed to build in, a relatively short time. It gives us context for the man himself. He was born in Porto, Portugal, back in 1996, and his journey in football started pretty early. He showed promise right from the get-go. Started out at his local club, Paços de Ferreira. His talent was obvious, apparently, even back then.
Yeah, and it didn't take long for people to notice. First, the Portuguese Football Federation, then a big European name, Atletico Madrid, though his early career path involved loans, didn't it? He went to Porto on loan, which was a big step up in Portugal. Then came the move to England, to Wolves.
Wolves, yeah. A club really on the up, and that's where he seemed to kind of properly establish himself at the senior level, wouldn't you say? Played a massive part in getting them promoted to the Premier League, made a huge impact there. That really set the stage for the next big move.
Absolutely. His time at Wolves was, it was crucial. For the club, obviously, but for him, too. He really proved himself there, showed his quality, his adaptability, that work rate he was known for. He was so important in that promotion season, scoring key goals, playing across the front line, versatile. And if you look at the bigger picture of how players develop, Jota's path was just consistently upwards. From Paços, step by step, up to Wolves, then Liverpool, the very top level. It really speaks volumes about his dedication, his natural talent, but also just that drive to keep getting better. The impact he made in what was, let's face it, a pretty short professional career is just extraordinary, a real testament to him.
And that next step, that bigger thing, was Liverpool, of course, back in 2020. Liverpool signed him, adding him to a squad that was already, winning titles. And the impact was, instant. Scored just 8 minutes into his debut.
Incredible start.
Yeah, a real sign of that killer instinct he had. He quickly became vital for them, not just a squad player, but someone who could change games. He was key in winning the Premier League again in 2025. Always seemed to pop up with important goals, instrumental in the FA Cup and League Cup wins too. His ability to play anywhere across the attack, use both feet, his clever movement, he just gave them another dimension,
Definitely.
Helped keep them right at the top. He was genuinely brilliant, often maybe not getting the headlines of others, but delivering consistently.
And it wasn't just a club level, was it? His international career with Portugal was also really impressive. Tells you a lot about his quality. He got, what, 49 caps for Portugal? Became a really important, regular part of the national team setup. Played a big part in them winning the UEFA Nations League, both in 2019 and just recently in 2025. Showed he could perform right at the highest international level, too. And it's not just the number of caps, is it? It's the consistency, stepping up in big moments for Portugal as well. That sustained level of performance, club and country, reaching those heights so young, it just underlines the scale of the talent that football's now lost. So tragically. It wasn't just stats, it was his influence, his reliability.
And thinking about that talent, that journey, it makes the way it ended just feel even more cruel. Let's carefully revisit the details of the accident itself. It happened in a place called Cernadia in Zamora. That's in northwestern Spain. The Guardia Civil, the police there, they've given some initial, very grim details about what they think happened.
In the reports we've seen so far, they suggest the cause was possibly a burst tire, apparently while the vehicle was trying to overtake another car. And this led to the car catching fire. It's been widely reported the car involved was a Lamborghini. And crucially, both brothers were in the car, Diogo, 28, and Andre, 26. Tragically, both were pronounced dead at the scene. And, an incident like this, it just forces you to think, doesn't it, about how fragile life is, how suddenly everything can change, even for people who seem to have everything, peak fitness, amazing careers. It's that randomness that's so hard to accept, just the sheer shock of vibrant lives ending like that.
The grief that followed the news has been, well, you can feel it everywhere. It was immediate, widespread. And personally, you just can't begin to imagine the pain for his wife, Rute, and their 3 little children. As we said, the wedding was only 11 days ago, a celebration of their future. That closeness of profound joy and now unimaginable sorrow, it just adds this incredibly painful layer to it all. For them, it's not about losing a footballer. It's losing a husband, a father, a brother. Their loss is just immeasurable. And the football world has really come together. The tributes have been pouring in, showing just how much he meant to people. Liverpool FC, his club, they put out a statement straight away, expressing deep sorrow, but also asking for privacy for the family, which is so important. And his Portugal captain, Cristiano Ronaldo, shared something really emotional on X. It really captured that sense of disbelief. He wrote, let me get this right. It does not make sense. We were only just together in the national team. You had only just got married. My condolences to your family. I know you will always be with them. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre.
That line, it does not make sense, especially coming from someone like Ronaldo, just hits hard, doesn't it? It sums up what everyone feels, how completely wrong this feels, losing someone so young, so full of recent joy. And Darwin Nunez, his teammate at Liverpool, he mentioned Jota's smile and his dedication. That detail, the smile, it suggests that warmth, that positivity he had. Even legends like Steven Gerrard posted, expressing his sorrow. R.I.P. Diogo, condolences to his family and friends. And it wasn't just contained to England or Portugal. Clubs like Napoli, their president De Laurentiis, manager Antonio Conte, they sent condolences too. It really shows the global reach of this sadness, the respect Jota commanded everywhere.
This statement from the Portuguese Football Federation was also really powerful. It focused on his character, beyond just being a player. They said much more than a fantastic player with nearly 50 caps for the national team. Diogo Jota was an extraordinary person, respected by colleagues and adversaries, someone with a contagious joy and a reference in his own community.
That's beautifully put, isn't it? From his own federation. It gets to the heart of it. It wasn't just the goals, the skills, it was the person he was, that contagious joy they mentioned. That's why teammates, opponents, fans, everyone felt this connection. All these tributes, this outpouring, it shows his legacy is much bigger than just football achievements. He genuinely touched people with his personality, his character, and that's why this hurts so much. Across the whole sport and beyond, it really underlines that human connection we make with athletes, which makes their tragedies feel so personal to so many.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, trying to make sense of it all, what are the takeaways is just profoundly clear, isn't it? The world hasn't just lost an amazing football talent in Diogo Jota, a player who made a real difference. But maybe even more than that, we've lost a truly wonderful human being. And his brother, Andre Silva, too.
Exactly. Diogo Jota's legacy, even though his life was cut so tragically short at 28, it is one of inspiration, no doubt. He reached so many people. Through his performances, definitely, those crucial goals. But maybe even more through the love for his family, that joy people talked about, his humility. And a tragedy like this, so sudden, so brutal. It's just the starkest reminder of how fragile life is, how precious every moment really is, and how unpredictable everything can be. It really forces you to look beyond the game
at the human cost.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought, something for you, our listener, to reflect on. When faced with this kind of unexpected loss, this absence, how do we properly honor those taken too soon, especially in the public eye, like in sport? And what can we learn from this about the impact we make? Not just what we achieve, but who we are, the connections we build, even if our time ends up being shorter than we ever imagined. Our deepest thoughts and condolences are, of course, with Ruth, their 3 children, and all of the Jota and Silva families at this absolute terrible time. We hope you'll take a moment to reflect on what's truly important. Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.